Building a digital product is complex, demanding, uncertain. And that's where we come in. We're a group of creative thinkers, digital product specialists, dreamers, and team players. With over 15 years in the industry, 400 innovators, 50 awards, building over 150 digital products for our global customers. We engage in your awesome idea and help bring it to life. 99x, creating impactful digital products together. Building a digital product is complex, demanding, uncertain. And that's where we come in. We're a group of creative thinkers, digital product specialists, dreamers, and team players. With over 15 years in the industry, 400 innovators, 50 awards, building over 150 digital products for our global customers. We engage in your awesome idea and help bring it to life. 99x, creating impactful digital products together.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final day of QEWeek 2023, a 5-day event with 2 to 3 amazing sessions happening each day. So, this is an event organized by the Colombo Quality Camp and proudly sponsored by our strategic partner 99x. Headquartered in Norway with offices in Oslo and Colombo, Sri Lanka, 99x is one of Asia's best workplaces and a global leader in agile product engineering and technology innovation. We are also pleased to acknowledge our education partner, the Sri Lanka Software Testing Board, a non-profit organization that represents the national industry interests and promotes the broad profession of software testing. It is comprised of a group of experienced experts in software testing who volunteered their time to the development, maintenance, and promotion of the ISTQB certified tester program in Sri Lanka. As always, QEWeek aims to bring industry experts to discuss vital topics that will further enrich your knowledge and experience. Now, before we kickstart our sessions for the day, let me kindly remind you to type in any questions you have for our speakers in the chat, and our speakers will answer them at the end of each session. So let's get started. With nearly 14 years of experience, he's an expert in test automation, encompassing UI, web service, and AI automation, focused on maintaining quality and efficiency across various projects, ensuring the successful delivery of high-performing software solutions throughout his 14-year journey in QA with various global IT companies. Having worked extensively in the US, UK, and Germany, collaborating closely with diverse clients on site, his experience has refined his ability to adapt to different cultural contexts and effectively collaborate with international teams. Please welcome our speaker, Lahiru Taraka, Senior Manager, Head of QA, Nation Trust Bank, here to enlighten us on the topic AI-powered test automation, the future of testing. Over to you, Lahiru.
Right. Good evening, everyone. And thanks, Dini, for introducing me. It is with immense pleasure to participate in the Quality 2023. I'm honored to have been invited as a speaker for this gathering, and I extend my appreciation to the organizers for providing me this opportunity to share my thoughts on today's topic. So let me share my screen. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this presentation, we will discuss the use of AI in test automation. As you already know, uh, today's topic is AI-powered test automation, the future of software testing. So in today's agenda, we will discuss about natural language processing, self-healing, computer visual testing, and also we will cover the benefits of using AI as well as some of the challenges. We will also discuss some of the tools and techniques that are available for AI test automation. So let's move on to the next slide. So what is AI automation? So you already know the artificial intelligence in test automation is the latest trend in quality assurance, right? So you know they say low code, no code. So I remember several years back when the test automation was still new, we were working on projects with many clients using Selenium with different language like Java, C Sharp, and Ruby. So we had to keep the automation suite up to date with every release because the changes were coming so fast. So you know about it, right? So earlier we had Selenium IDE where it records and play back the actions and locators, but it had many limitations. Hope you can remember. So let's move on to the next slide. So these are the set of trending tools, AI automation, AI test automation trending tools available. I listed a few. There are many. So we have Test Sigma, Tools, Functionize, Mabel, Test Team, and Cat. So Functionize is the tool that I have been working so far. So I have been using this Functionize AI tool for 1 year now. So and also you have participated sessions conducted during this week about AI testing. So we had wonderful sessions for about Catalan, and yesterday I remember we had a session about AI automation with ChatGPT, how to create Selenium scripts using ChatGPT, right? Hope you can remember. Okay, let's move to next slide. Tools and techniques for AI automation. So we have machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning is a type of AI that allows computers to learn from data without being programmed, which can be used in our test cases. Natural language processing, or NLP, is a type of AI that allows computers to understand human language. Other way, the computer vision can be used to automate visual testing, such as testing the appearance of website of our applications. So let's move to natural language processing, right? So NLP engine takes test cases written in plain English that you just need to provide a description of the test you want, and it generates fully functional automation tests by recording the UI actions, right? So when we do automation scripting, sometimes each test automation script is like a mini software project, right? So we have to do a lot of scripting and codings, a lot of research, right? So you take manual test cases and look at the steps. For each step you have to look at the application, how it's working. Then you need to work on which element you need to interact with. For each element you need to find out the best locator. For every failed step you need to test and debug the script to make sure it's working, right? Debug it again and run it whether it's working. So even once the script is complete, you have to repeat the same process for each browser you need to run. So you know how painful this process is, right? And it's very time consuming. So the next topic is, so especially in the screen you can see we have a in the right side we have architect. This I have extracted from the functionize tool. It just human like natural language, just English. It says verify main navigation, click feature items, verify product name. You can't see any programming scripts, right? It's just English. You just need to write your test steps and perform the actions you need to test, right? So spot changes. So you can see we have two images. One is the old Facebook login page, your favorite social media network. So at the front we have the latest one, right? 5 years back we had the old one. So can you see they have changed their UI, right? You know, the previous create account button is just create account, and they have changed it to create new account, and they have changed the location of their username password into a different location. They have changed the sign up section, right? You know that these websites or applications are keep changing, right? UI. So let's move on. So as a solution we have something called self-healing. So as I explained in my previous slide, sites are evolving very fast. Styles change, objects are moving, buttons are renamed. So here we have AI where test can intelligently heal using machine learning. So a self-healing test automation model typically use a combination of machine learning and natural language processing. Now we can stop wasting our precious time fixing changes. Dynamic learning eliminates the need of our tedious test automation maintenance, right? So self-healing test automation model is a type of test automation that use AI to automatically identify and fix the the UI issues, UI changes within the script. In some AI reports, you can spot where the self-healing is happened. So in the given the image below, you can see yellow icons, right? Self-heal. So this is where you can spot where the self-healing happened. So without your without your scripting, so uh, AI can identify and fix whatever the changes happen in your application. That's one of the benefit we can get out of AI automation. So let's move to the next one. So let's play a little game. So spot the difference game, right? So you can see two images. So let's play a game. Can you identify at least 6 differences between these two images? You can ignore the text on the image, except the text. Can you identify 6 difference? I'll give you 1 minute. So any volunteer can raise their hand and express the changes, or you can write down the changes. So you can write the changes in the chat, so I think Dini can read it out.
So we have a few answers coming in. So one says one leg of the dog disappears in second image. And then there's another one, the middle strip, the stripe of the helmet is thinner in left side image. There's an extra wood panel in fence, and copyright. Means right leg alignment is different.
Right. Yeah. Those are fair things. So you can see the the blue helmet guy's hand is missing. His leg is moved. The red helmet guy's hand is lengthier, and the grass color is the left side one is very light, and the right side image grass is the the contrast is high, and there are many more, right? So yeah. So let's move to the next one. So how about this image? Can you spot the captain? So the previous one, we can identify differences, right? So how about this one? It's very challenging, right? So when we have a lot of details in a page, when we have a lot of elements in a page or application, it's very difficult for us to spot the changes, right? So this is why we have computer visual testing come into play. So the current generation of automated visual testing use a class of AI algorithms. So it called computer vision as a core engine for visual comparison. Visual testing is a type of software testing that verifies the visual appearance of a software application. This can include checking the layout, colors, fonts, and images, right? So AI can identify visual defects that may be difficult for us to see, right? In the previous image, it's very difficult, right? So full page testing or element-based testing is available in AI. So it compares the baseline screenshot with the execution that you run again and again. So, and it captures the differences. And also it has the ability to adjust the tolerance level to allow more or less room for availability of the future runs, right? So I'm going to do a quick demo at the end of the presentation using Functionize. So I can share my experience how Functionize tool can be used for our testing. Okay, let's move. So now challenges, what are the challenges? So one of the biggest challenge of using AI test automation is the cost of implementing AI automation tools. So these tools can be very expensive to purchase, right? So maintaining, additionally, there is a shortage of skilled AI engineers who can develop, maintain test scripts. So this is because AI scripts are often based on machine learning models, which can change over time. And also, AI can sometimes introduce new defects into the software. This is because AI models are not always perfect, right? And they can sometimes make mistakes. All right, so I'll do a small demo. Um, so this is the tool that, as I said, the Functionize tool, AI tool. This is a commercial tool, the paid tool. you need to pay for the license. And so I'll show you how to, test your automation applications using Functionalize. So in this tool, so they have a UI called Architect. You can see at the right top of the screen, they have Architect. This is where you can interact with your scripting, not scripting like UI actions. So you just need to write your test steps. In this case, we can write visually verify homepage, and also you just need to click on the verification icon. So let's say in this case, you can just click on visual test icon. Then just you need to simply move your cursor into the web element you need to visually check, right? And it captures whatever the locators, everything from the backend, and it will automatically make the script for you. And also you can define the baseline, and as I said, the how much you need to match the current execution with the baseline, whether you need to match it 92% or 75%, right? So, and they have a lot of they have this toolbox where you can generate random numbers. So for an example, for this zip code in the UI, you can just, by clicking on this toolbox, you can create random numbers. You just need to enter the length of the digit that you need to input as zip code. So in this case, let's say we enter 5, and just you need to set target, and you need to point what is the input text box you need to enter this random number, right? So when you execute it, every time it creates a random number. So same way, it has the ability to create phone numbers and random emails. So without doing any programming scripts, right? So that's how you interact with Functionize Architect UI. And let's say when you need to click on a button, you just need to enter the test step, right, in English. And you can, so we are recording this. We are recording these UI actions. So here we go and click on the checkout button, place order button. So you just need to record the UI, right? So the next one, can you see in the top page, they have about service project buttons. They have moved to the left side corner of the page. This is a UI change, right? So these UI changes are, happening in our applications, right? So that's one of the challenge we are facing. So that's why we have a self-healing, machine learning algorithms, where they can identify automatically and fix the changes itself without our manual scripting. So here the UI has changed, right? Let's see whether self-healing is happening. So when the UI change is there, when we execute our test scripts using Functionize, so it should not fail the changes. It should not fail the test case. The self-healing should work, and it should identify the differences, and it should fix the script by itself. So in this case, you can see the test case is getting passed. Self-healing was happened, right? We don't need to do any modifications. So, and also you can see self-heal icon is there. So it says where the self-healing happened. So you can just continue with it, or you can do whatever the changes you need. And also it says what are the changes happen, right? So you can see the previous value was a span, and the location was got changed, the width was changed. So these changes also you can see in the report, right, for each and every UI changes. So assume how much effort, time we can save from this. So assume if we are to write or modify our test cases, it takes a lot of time, right? It's very painful. So AI will do it for you. This is another most beneficial thing we can get out of AI. And the next one is this, they have this orchestration where you can, set the environment and you can set the schedule, whether you need to execute this on demand or whether you need to execute these test cases once the developers deploy their builds, and whether you need to execute this hourly or daily, right? What time you need to execute this, right? So by just clicking on a drop down, by selecting these values from a drop down, can do this. So we don't need to do any configurations, right? It's not time consuming. It's just selecting from drop downs. And also you have the ability to run the same recorded script in different browsers, Firefox, Chrome, Safari. You just need to select whatever the web browser you need to pick. And also it has sequential and parallel execution. You can just need to select it. And the other thing is uh, debugging, right? So how do we modify our test scripts? So they have this live debugging produced in their tool, where you can set the breakpoint where you need to fix the script or the test case, right? Let's say one step is getting failed. Now you need to fix it. So they have this live debug. You can turn it on and you can set the debug pointer where you need to fix the issue. And once, so, and also they have this their dedicated instances where these are getting executed in cloud, right? So let's say, so you can see a red dot in the left side of the test steps, and it should pause the test execution from the breakpoint, right? So let's see. So can you see a red dot? So the execution should stop from there, and we can start, fixing the failures. So now it has come to the breakpoint, and the architect toolbox is appearing. So you can just record whatever the new steps you need to add, and you can remove the failure steps. It's that simple. You don't need to do any scripting, anything. It just record the new step you need to add, or record the fix you need to fix. Just add it, remove the previous one. And also you have the ability to to change the order of this test step. These features are there with functionize, right? And let's move to the next one. So it's automatically getting added to the test execution steps. So when you run it next time, it will add whatever the changes. So yeah, that's it about the demo. So I think we can move to the Q&A session.
So much time for the insightful discussion. So now we begin our Q&A session. So if you have, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right. So thank you, Lahiru, once again for that insightful discussion. So now we will begin our Q&A session. So if you already haven't typed in your questions in the chat, please do so now, and Lahiru will respond to them. So we have 4 questions here. So the first one is AI-based testing tools might be susceptible to attacks or manipulations, especially if they are not designed with robust security measures. Any suggestion to mitigate this?
Yeah, so that's one challenge, security, in the sense sometimes these, some tools, these are based on machine learnings. They use our test data, the application algorithms. So for commercial tools, they have some limitations where they have set of security measures. But yeah, that's one challenge we have with the AI automation.
Regarding self-healing, could the AI be changing the test script according to the behavior of a bug, assuming it is the new user flow?
Yeah, that's why they produce this self-healing icon in the report. So you have to visually check whether really it's a bug or UI change. If you need to, if it's a bug, you can just report it by looking at the report, because it says self-healing happened. So if it's a really a change, you just need to do nothing. You can just continue the scripting or the execution. That's how you can differentiate whether it's a bug or a expected UI change.
Can we use self-healing tool to web application? How can we use this? Can you give more detail about this tool?
Yeah, so this is not specifically for these commercial tools. We also have this self-healing in Selenium as well. You can import these Selenium libraries into your framework. They have this self-healing. So you can try it out using Selenium. So you can have a little bit research, but again, you need to have a programming skills or scripting knowledge dealing with self-healing. So this can be done with Selenium as well, not only with commercial tools.
All right. We have few more questions, but due to the time constraint, we are accepting that much of questions. So, but you can reach out to Lahiru on LinkedIn and drop any question. He'll be happy to answer, and also he can answer them through the chat box as well. Thank you once again, Lahiru, for that wonderful session on AI-powered test automation, the future of testing.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
As we proceed with QualityWeek 2023, let's once again extend our gratitude to strategic partner 99X and our education partner, Sri Lanka Software Testing Board, for their invaluable support in making this event possible. And with that, let's dive into our second session for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, Sparsh Kesari, is a software developer specializing in full stack development. He is an open source enthusiast and has been part of various programs, including GitHub Externship. He has also interned at organizations like GitHub India, Red Hat, Government of India. He is actively involved in the testing and QA community work as well. In his current position, he works as a developer relations engineer at Lambda Test, exploring and contributing to the testing world. Today, Sparsh Kesari will guide us through mastering modern web testing with Playwright, leveraging his extensive industry experience. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Sparsh. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dini. Thank you for having me. I hope you are learning a lot during the quality week. And let me just share my screen. I hope my screen was visible.
Yes, it is, Vash.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
In today's talk, we will be discussing about mastering modern web testing with Playwright. We will be giving a brief topic about Playwright, and also we will be having a quick demo where we will explore what powerful tooling that Playwright comes in box. So, getting started, what is Playwright? So with a show of hand, can you all please respond if anybody has used Playwright before or have even heard about Playwright? I will just wait for a few seconds. You can raise your hands. I'm not able to see. Okay. Okay, I can see a couple of hands. Awesome. Okay. So Playwright is an open source framework that is developed by Microsoft, and it comprises of that helps us reliable end-to-end testing of modern web applications. The Playwright was developed specifically to test out modern web applications. We have a lot of development that have been happening towards web application now. Websites have to be running on mobile devices, not only desktop devices. Also, we are running it on TVs, smartwatches, etc. So we need some tool that is capable of testing it on all fronts. So Playwright came in early 2020s, and it has been growing ever since. Now we have around 3 million plus downloads per year, as well as a lot of stars on GitHub. So if you are interested after the talk, we'll love to try Playwright out. Please go ahead, give it a quick hands-on demo and play with it. I think you will find it easier to get started. So getting started, the question comes, why Playwright? Playwright is dependable, resilient, and capable. By meaning of dependable, I mean Playwright can run on any browser. It can help automate any browser. It can run on any platform that is Mac OS, Linux, or Windows. And it has only one API that serves everything. So if you are automating any website or any mobile devices, you can do with a single API. Playwright is resilience. So Playwright has various functions that is automatically auto-build in itself. First of all, calling auto-waiting. So while writing tests, most of us might be adding explicit time waitouts. But Playwright helps us do that in box. So you do not have to write it explicit timeouts, but Playwright will itself wait for the element to load, as well as it will look if some other animation or any other thing is blocking the particular element that we are looking for. And it will wait, and it will then capture the expected result. We have web first assertions. We will be talking about it in a while. We also have browser context. We will also be talking about in a while. Playwright is capable. You can write Playwright test in any languages, and with the help of its one single API, it can run it on any browser or platform devices that you want to test on. Playwright also comes with parallelism in hand, that is called sharding. With Playwright, you can also define the number of parallels or number of workers that are running your test. So it will intelligently divide your test into with the help of multiple workers and parallels. So to run your test faster and complete your test quicker. We also have many powerful tools that comes in Playwright. We will having a quick look in the end. So as we were talking about Playwright being dependable, Playwright helps support cross-browser testing. So it can be any browser, it can be Chromium based, it can be WebKit or Firefox, or even Safari or Edge as well. So with the help of one single API, you can test across every browser. It can help you achieve cross-browser automation, as well as cross-platform automation. You can test in any language that you are currently doing. It can be JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, or Java. With the help of its one single API, it can use to automate it at any browsers or platforms. Playwright is also compatible with any CI/CD tool that you are currently using. So out of the box, Playwright is very much compatible with GitHub Actions. But if you are choosing to automate with any other CI/CD tool, you can also integrate that as well. So we were discussing about powerful tooling. So what these powerful tools are all. So first of all, we have CodeGen. CodeGen is a smart code recorder tool that helps you record the code, and it converts that recording into text code, and you can execute it as usual. We will be seeing a short demo of how easy it is using CodeGen in a while. We have inspector. Inspector is also called as UI inspector. UI inspector helps you inspect any locator that you are looking for. And it also gives you a very powerful time-lapse debugger as well. We also have trace viewer. So trace viewer helps you rerun your recorded test, helps you debug any bug that you have incurred during the running of your test. It also gives you a screenshot as well as other uh, network or any other logs that you are required to debug your tool. So let's see with a hands-on tutorial, how can we get started with Playwright, as well as how can you integrate this in your daily testing. So if you want to follow this demo, you can also. So I have VS Code open, and I am currently installed an extension called Playwright Test for VS Code. So this extension is very powerful, and it helps you run all the tests that you want out of the VS Code itself. It avoids the CLI step that you want to run, but you can also, if you are not using this VS Code extension, you can run with the CLI commands as well. So make sure this extension is installed. Okay, so let's get started. So with the help of a command, npm init playwright, we will just install a init file. Meanwhile, all the dependencies have been installed and all the browsers are being downloaded. So we can see all the files are over here. In the out of the box, we get some tests. These are the sample tests. We can just a minute. Okay. So these are the sample tests that we get out of the Playwright init command. We also have Playwright config file. This is a config file that you can like edit out if you want to change any configurations. This contains number of workers that you want to work with, number of devices that you want to test on. You can create your own grid, which devices that you want to work on. You can also set the versions of these devices. So currently these are set to the latest versions, but you can choose if you are trying to. So let's get to the sample test. So we have these two tests in it. So as you can see, these tests have a page component in it. So with page, as I said, that Playwright is made for modern web application testing. So page is called a context in Playwright. So as you might have seen in a browser, we have an option to open multiple tabs. So consider this page as a tab. So while we write a test, we have this page as a reference. And in this page, we are doing multiple steps. So and also, as we also looked at browser context, so these pages are completely isolated with each other. So as tabs are isolated in a browser window, similarly, Playwright also have pages isolated with each other. So to sum it up, one page cannot talk to another page. So we can't share credentials with one page. These are completely isolated contexts that we have created. We also looked at web first assertions. So as Playwright uses a lot of in built-in wait as well as asynchronous, it is developed asynchronously. So all the test scripts that are written, these are written in an asynchronous way. So you can see await, you can see async, that helps to get whatever we are waiting for asynchronously. So it waits for the object to load before testing it, before running the line of code. So what this test does is it go to the page playwright.dev and it expect the page to have title Playwright. So just this is again an feature of the extension that VS Code extension that we downloaded. So with the help of one button, we can run this test. So you can see the test is running, and it opened a trace viewer, and we can see the test has been run. So just let me close this out and let me disable test viewer for a minute. So as we can see, in 1.4 seconds, this test was run. And similarly, I can run the second test, and it will again complete in a completely headless manner. So there was no browser open. It completely executed this test in a headless manner. So if you are writing some test and you want to execute it faster, don't want browser to open and show the execution, you can run it headlessly out of the box. You do not have to write any particular command for it. So let's see how this test done in a headed mode. So if we execute it, it will open up a browser. Again, it will inspect, open playwright.dev, and it will see if the title has playwright on it. So I think it found it. The test has passed. So moving on to a second test. Second test is a bit different from the first test. So you can see we have a locator called get by role. So in Playwright, as we discussed that we have web first assertions, we also have a different method of getting the locators. We do not deal with CSS locators, but locators getting by role or by text, these are preferred because Playwright has a Playwright Playwright promotes getting the locators that are more visible to the viewers. So we have currently around 8 to 9 different kind of get by locators that are by role, by text, by value, etc. So these are more easier to write as well as more easier to execute. Okay, so after that, we have clicked on get started. We are expecting the page to have an heading installation to be visible. So this is an assertion that we have, and we can also run this in the browser and see how it goes. Yep. So it opened playwright.dev, it opened installation, and it has the installation to be visible. The test passed. So this is a running test in headed and headless mode. So again, now going to CodeGen. So CodeGen is a smart code recorder tool that helps you write the test on your own. So as I clicked on record new, as I opened CodeGen, it created a new spec file for me. I'm just really aligning my screen so that I can have both sides. Okay. So whatever we do on the right side of the screen, it will be recorded in the left side of the screen. So let's open playwright.dev. So as you can see, the first part of the code is recorded over here. As we click on, let's go to community, the second line will be added. And let's also go to ambassador program. So we also let's also expect that Andrew Knight is visible in this ambassador program. So currently we do not have assertions in this code recorder. We in Playwright, it was just released last week only. So we can only get the locators by clicking on the CodeGen, but with the help of simple code, we can add expect to be visible. So now this simple test was recorded and given in test format. And if we run, I think it ran successfully. So let's change something and see if it runs again or not. So as you can see, it's taking a bit of a time to fail the test. So it's waiting automatically for the locator to be visible. As it was not visible in the expected 5 seconds of time, the test got failed. So we do not have to explicitly add wait. That is very helpful in sometimes when we are writing scripts. So as this test was failed. So how can we debug this test? So as we showed earlier that we have a tool called TraceViewer. TraceViewer is a smart test debugger. So I'll just open this. So as you can see, it opens the test in a tree format. It write down every step, and we can see what part of the line our test failed. So this is not, we are not getting just a screenshot of every line that we executed, but we can also pop this out as a browser, and we can inspect in this browser as well. So this comes in handy while we are debugging a particular test. So this is done. We can also get different types of logs. It can be error logs as well as console logs, network logs, etc. So any attachments or source that we have, we can also manage it with the help of TraceView. As you can see in the top, we have a time-based snapshots. So while debugging, we also might have to look how much time it took for the browser to load, how much time it took for the particular web page to load. So we can also manage it over from the time snapshots. So this is about TraceViewer. We have covered CodeGen. We have also covered headless and headed. There is also a small feature called pick locator. So pick locator helps you to, if you are not using CodeGen, if you want to pick up a small locator, with the help of pick locator tool, you can just click on this and it will, in your VS Code, it will give you the particular locator that you're looking for. You can just copy it and use it in your test. I will just change this test to black so that everything is green. Also, we also have reports in Playwright. So with the help of the command npx playwright show reports, we can see a report was created. So the test passed. I think there is nothing to show. But if we have a failing test and we execute it, and then we see the report, we can okay, it's not. Just a minute. npx playwright test. This is running the test via CLI. Once this is run, okay, okay. Now the test has run. Now let me just do an npx. Okay, so it opened the test report. So we can see the line of code which it particularly failed. We can also click, we can see what was the time waiting. So this particular time, this type of report comes in handy when we have test failing due to some error that is not explained, like timeout. These are the failing tests that we are not able to figure out how and why the test was particularly failing. So with the help of this detailed report, we can see what was the particular reason for the test to be failing. So that's about it from Playwright. If you are interested, if you like Playwright, you can go to the Playwright website to see the commands and configurations. So this is a very user-friendly website. We have a very detailed doc of every feature or every function that we can do with Playwright. As well as if you are facing any doubts, you can get connected with the community. You can also join the Discord community, which is very friendly and welcoming. So if you have any doubts, you can ask it over the Playwright community. As well as if you are looking for a particular feature, you can just go to the Playwright GitHub, as well as ask for a particular feature that you want them to work on. Or if your particular feature is currently under development, you can also upvote to help get that release faster. That's about from my side. I'm open for Q&A.
Thank you, Sparsh, for that insightful session. So let's kick off our Q&A session. So please type in your questions in the chat, and Sparsh will be delighted to provide answers. So we have 5 questions here. The first one is, we recently moved to Playwright, and most of our scripts get failed time to time due to timeout errors. Could you please mention some inbuilt methods or alternatives in Playwright that can be used to reduce these flaky failures?
As we discussed, so Playwright is built to reduce the flaky test. So if these tests are failing due to timeout, that means that the particular locator is not able to find. So you can check the if the particular locator is available or not, or you can re-record the test using the Playwright code gen or any other tool. So Playwright automatically waits for the particular locator to be visible as about 5 seconds. If you want to change that time to help, like if that helps to run your test, you can do that in the Playwright config file. I think that will reduce that flaky nature.
We tried image comparison in Playwright to verify most of our UIs without adding much assertions. But now it seems image comparison is not much successful because most of the time scripts get failed if any single pixel is changed. Could you please mention any better way of using image comparison in Playwright?
So in image comparison, there are different types of configurations that we can use. So you can go to the Playwright website and change the configurations a bit. So if you want to keep the benchmark a bit low, if you don't want a particular, like around 40% of the pixel to pixel are matching, you want that test to pass, you can set that configuration and see if that helps your cause. And that I think that will help pass the test.
When using CodeGen, do we have any option to organize the code according to page object model?
No, currently no. It doesn't support page object model, but you can just record the particular locators and you can arrange it yourself. It currently supports only the flow-wise recording of the test. So currently, this feature is currently under development. I think it will be live soon.
Does Playwright supports only web? Can we use it to automate API tests and or mobile apps?
Yes, Playwright also supports API testing as well as testing Chrome browsers on Android testing. Playwright also supports desktop testing with Electron JS as well as testing on Android is currently under development. I think that will be released in few time. Meanwhile, if you are looking to run your test on Chrome on any devices, you can set that up in your configuration file, and that will run those tests.
Could you please provide some sources of Playwright community?
Yeah. So if you go to Playwright website, you will be able to find the Discord link as well as on GitHub. So you can reach out on Discord, as well as if you go to the community. Okay. If you go to the community tab, we have different ambassadors here. So you can also reach out to them if you are facing a particular issue. And these are across the globe. So if somebody is near your location and can help you out, you can reach out to them directly as well as on Discord. So the community is very welcoming. And if you have any small doubt or if you are facing any issue in getting started, you can reach them out.
All right. Seems like that's all we have for questions. So that concludes our second insightful session for today. Thank you, Sparsh.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. I hope you had fun. And if you haven't used Playwright, you will give it a try. And I'm reachable via LinkedIn or any social media platform. If you are facing any issue, feel free to reach me out as well.
All right. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so let's mention, so let's once again extend our gratitude to our strategic partner 99X and our education partner Sri Lanka Software Testing Board for their valuable support in making this event possible. So yeah.
Building a digital product is complex, demanding, uncertain. And that's where we come in. We're a group of creative thinkers, digital product specialists, dreamers, and team players. With over 15 years in the industry, 400 innovators, 50 awards, building over 150 digital products for our global customers. We engage in your awesome idea and help bring it to life. 99X, creating impactful digital products together.
And with that, let's dive into our third and final session for the day and for Quality Week 2023. Here to speak on the topic, Fortifying Your Software Castle, Mastering Security Design, is Dilan Varnakula Surya, Manager Cybersecurity Defense Center, PayPal. With over 13 years of dedicated experience in cybersecurity, Dilan leads a dynamic team of security engineers at the PayPal Cybersecurity Defense Center, Asia Pacific in Singapore, spanning sectors such as fintech, healthcare, aviation, telecommunications, and banking. His expertise is enriched by a master's degree in cybersecurity. Over to you, Dilan.
Hello. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Dilan.
Give me one moment. I'm still setting up my computer. All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Uh, I'm new to Zoom and organizers. How many audience we have today? Can't see the numbers. All right, 94. The session is about the fortifying your software castle. And with this topic, we are going to discuss about the threat modeling concept. And as far as I know, this is a mixed combination of audience, which we have the university students, professionals, and software developers, software testers, kind of mixed group. So within this next 20 to 30 minutes, I will explain some of the basic concept we use in the threat modeling and how we can utilize those concepts in the in your software development environment and the testing environment, as well as some of the risk mitigation environment. One more time, I want to check, am I audible enough? Because I have not just done this setup before.
Yes, you're audible.
Great. Okay, I'm Dylan Varnakula Surya. I'm the manager of PayPal Cyber Defense Center, Asia Pacific and EMEA. As all of you know, today is the Retail Friday, and some of us call the Black Friday, which is the biggest shopping day in this planet. So today is the busiest days for us as well. This is my 5th year at PayPal. We are mainly involved into the cybersecurity operations in globally, but I have involved some of this threat modeling concept in my previous works. So right now I'm not really involved into the development type of works, but we are discussing the same concept with the operations as well. Okay, this is the thing. I'm not a fan about these boring lectures, and I want to make it more interactive, the sessions I'm conducting. Because of that, I prefer in-person meetings, but this is since it's a virtual one. I thought we'll be doing kind of a different modifications to the session. Instead of slides and I'm speaking monologue kind of a concept, we'll add more fun into the session. So what I suggest, we'll make it like a gamification. I'll explain things one by one from the beginning. How I do that, I will throw some questions to the audience and you can answer those questions, not verbally, but you can use your browsers or your mobile app, and you can log into the Kahoot or you can use the browser. Then start answering these questions. Sounds good? Can you not speak? Okay, I'll take it as yes. Let me share the screen. Then you will see the Kahoot ID there. Then can you see the screen? Organizers.
Yes, can see this.
All right.
Can see this.
It's the game pin. I know most of you know about this application Kahoot, and you can log into the application or you can navigate to your browsers to kahoot.it and enter this pin, then put your nicknames, and we'll kick off the session. You can see two folks there. I think we have a limitation in this subscription. We can only have 40 team members. So fast your fingers. You can only have 40 accounts here. The rest of the folks can join virtually. They can also answer the questions, but not using that. Very good. We have 11. I need more participation. I'll give you another 1 more minute to join into the session. $16. Let's at least get 30. Nice nicknames. So you know about this game. You have multiple choices. Pick your answers. The fastest persons pick the answers will get the top of the leadership board. And at the end, you will see who are in the top and who are doing best in this case. Right, 30 seconds. We'll start. 31 joined already. We have 90 plus participation here. You can get few more. Right, we can only take 8. Hurry up. Okay, cool. Then we'll start. You can still join. 2 more. And that's all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the sessions with the basic understanding about the threat modeling concept. And you will see we are building the sessions from step by step. If you are new to this domain or if you are new to this concept, don't worry. These questions are not hard. These questions are like you have to think a bit about with your common sense and answer the questions. Some questions you will get 20 seconds, some questions you will get only 30 seconds. I think that is more than enough. Okay, we're going to start this. Thanks, organizers, for having me here. This is the first question. Before you learn about the threat modeling, you should know about the threat. So what is a threat? Fastest fingers. Look at the 4 answers and click on most suitable answers for you. Key, 37 answers. Great. A lot of people pick the first one, a security vulnerability, which is not the correct answer. And half of you pick the correct answer. The second one is the correct, an intentional unauthorized action that exploit a vulnerability. So that is a threat. Assume we are number of times we are talking about that this is kind of a threat for me, and these are the things that can be threat for our organizations or the applications. So that's not a vulnerability. That's actually someone who's going to exploit the vulnerability, the threat actor, and his actions. So it is not only about the actions, actually, it has to be combined with the threat actor plus the actions. That is the threat, which means here the concept is you are building a software. We consider it's like a software as a castle. So you have to protect your castle. And to protect your castle, you should know what are the threats that can hit us at any time. So that is the threat. Now you at least have an understanding. It is not a vulnerability. Vulnerability is equal to the software bug. The software bug which contains some security impact is a security vulnerability. So that's kind of a subset of the software bug, the first answer, which most of you have chosen. But the correct one is intentional unauthorized action. So there are some keywords here. The first one, intentional. The second one, unauthorized. So your focus is to understand the threat from intentional authorized actions and the actors. Let's move to the second one and we can look at the leadership board at the same time. Good job, Ru, Chan, Sandy, Henne. And this is your next question. And you know about the threats now. At least you have an idea. What is threat modeling? This is the topic for us today. Nice. Okay. I think most of you have picked the correct answer here. Very good. Visualizing the potential attack scenarios and their dependencies. Like what we explained at the previous question, the potential attacks which can be conducted by the threat actors, to visualizing those things prior to the development work, so the prior to creating your test cases, understanding about the factors or visualizing the factors which can be impact to our application, the application you are going to develop or the test. That is the threat modeling. So understanding the overall picture, these are the external factors or the internal factors which can be matters for us in future. And then on the top of that, you build your development controls and the test cases. That is the threat modeling, and that is the use of the threat modeling in the in your domain, software development domain. I'm glad to see that many of you have idea on that. Let's move into the third question then. So we talk about the threat, external unauthorized access or the agents. Then we talk about the threat modeling. Means this is the meaning of the threat modeling. I'm not going to explain in depth, but I'm just giving you some clues. If you want to learn further, then these are the things you should focus on. Who's at the top? Okay, the leadership has changed a bit now. SJW is on the top. Still, you can see the top players are the same kind of players. The Windy came into the top 5. Third question, what is threat modeling? Why is threat modeling important? Sorry. Could be a familiar question for all of you because you are doing some security testing, visibility testing, and why we should use the threat modeling concept in your environment. This is somewhat similar to previous threat, which means basically you all of you have a basic idea about the threat modeling importance and why we should use that. So first thing, to prioritize and mitigate the security risks proactively. So nowadays, one of the misconcept we have is when someone asks you to do a security testing, you are mainly looking at some of the guidelines available like OWASP or the pen testing guidelines, and you are just following the exact procedures given in that standards. But that is not the most effective way. The most effective way should be you should initially do assessment and understand these are the problems can be arrived for our application. That depends on the context of your application and as well as the clients you are client that use that application. Let's get example. You are developing a banking application, and the banking application threat actors are different than the transport application threat actors. So when you correctly identify these are the people who can attack in future, then you can properly set the security controls plus the test cases to drive your security test effectively. So that is why the threat modeling is important for us. Initially, they prioritize the cases because if you are going to get new test cases for your applications to conduct a security test, you can have thousands of test cases, but that is not possible for us to complete within few sprint. Then you need to prioritize. Then how you can prioritize? You model it before conceptually. These are the cases should be prioritized in our sprint, and then you conduct accordingly. That is why the threat modeling is important in our domain. Okay, this is the leadership board. Good job, everyone. We are moving to the next one. Others, still you have a chance. The fourth question, which of the following is not a component of the stride model used in threat modeling? Right. Every character has a meaning. 5 seconds left. 2 seconds. Yeah, cool. I think majority of you picked the wrong answer. The correct answer is the intrusion. So again, we can't explain into the depth about these models we use in the threat modeling. So why initially we'll talk about the threat, then why it is important and what is the threat modeling now. What are the standards, what are the models we can use further to enhance the modeling concept? There are many. This is one and the main thing. If you are new to this domain, then you can search what is the stride model and how we can use each threat actors and evaluate those threat actors in our environment. Stride means comes with the meaning for each character. Obviously the S means that's spoofing, then tampering, but I doesn't mean the intrusion. It means that information exposure or the information disclosure. So let's say initially we talk about the external factors that can be impact us is the threat. So stride should use to understand the threats. Spoofing is obviously a threat because let's assume you are developing an application and external someone, the attackers want to change or the manipulate the uh, your application as faking their application. Example like phishing. You create a banking application, you have a login page, but someone else create a similar kind of a login page and they redirect your users to that direction, which is kind of a spoofing using the phishing. So that is a threat. So that can be explained further using the stride model. Then the tampering. The tampering means anybody, not anyone. Again, the fraudsters, the attackers can change the value of your data in storage, in process, or in transit. So that's kind of a tampering. That is also another problem. And the denial of service, obviously, they can interrupt the operations of your services or the APIs or the web application you offer to the outside. So that is another threat. The intrusion is not a threat. Intrusion, which is all the things we discuss here are like intrusions, which means tampering, denial of service, spoofing are the subset of the intrusion. So intrusion is not part of the stride model. If you're interested, then take a look at this model and see how we can utilize this model more conveniently in our applications. Let's move into the next question. Leadership board still JW is on the top. You can see a few people are coming up. Question number 5. Threat modeling. What does threat stands for? That is another stand we use for threat modeling. What does it mean by threat? 10 seconds you have. Since the answers are a bit lengthy, I have given 30 seconds for this question. Cool. We have answers for all the choices. Right. The correct one is the second one. Again, this is not to test your knowledge. This is just to give you some ideas about the standards and the concept you can use. So DREAD is one of the model we use to evaluate the importance of the threat. Let's say again the banking application, when you check the banking application you can get number of threats we can identify. Like we discussed earlier, the spoofing is a threat, DDoS attacks is a threat, the tampering data is a threat, information disclosure is a threat. Then from each threat has another sub variations. Let's say the spoofing, the phishing is another sub variation. Then how we can measure the importance of the each threat and how we can prioritize in our day-to-day testing and development work, which should comes first. So you can use this model to give some scores into the each identified threads. Then you can prioritize your work accordingly with your sprint planning. Okay. Moving to the next question. We have a new winner at the top, Lenin Shah. Then we'll continue the sixth question. Which threat modeling techniques involves creating diagram to represent the flow of data within a system? 5 seconds. Great. You picked the correct answer, most of you. Data flow diagrams. You are using data flow diagrams in many occasions, and this is one of the major area you can use it. And it is somehow different the way we use the data flow diagrams in the threat modeling. If you study further threat modeling, the first thing you should study is that how we can use the data flow diagrams to understand the endpoint of our application. So data flow diagrams means you have multiple integration for your applications internally, externally, and with other vendors. Let's say you expose some APIs, or you have the login pages, or you have third-party integrations for the authorization and authentication. So those are the things we identify as entry points, and you can draw those things using a data flow diagram. Sometimes we use special softwares to draw these data flow diagrams. Now it is more like AI oriented softwares available to with given context, they can, without knowing much information, they can actually automatically create the data flow diagrams in threat modeling. And you can learn about this more if you further study on the diagrams. And you're correct. That is the way we represent the flow of the data within a system, within the application. Let's move into the next one. Okay, we have another new leader. What is fundamental principle of threat modeling? There are multiple principles we are following, but this is like one of the fundamental. Security through of security, devices with controls, multitude of malicious, reactive security measures. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Assuming all input is malicious is the number one and first principle of the threat modeling. I'll explain it further. The first answer, security true of security, because which means you are hiding your architectural diagrams, you are hiding your logics inside your code, which is of security. That is a principle of information security, but that is not the principle of threat modeling. And the third and fourth questions are not even related to this modeling or modeling. Reactive security measures means you are applying some controls before someone is hitting on your systems. Assuming all input is malicious, that is the key concept. Input means it has multiple variations. You can have your end users to submit the inputs to the system application, or you can have some other integrations to submit the inputs. Same like before, your banking application, the login page is the place, one place to get the inputs. And the banking application sometimes expose the APIs to the external world to extract the information or give the information. So that is another entry point. Let's say your application is attached to the biometrics. So that's another input. So that is another entry point. So what we need to assume as a rule of thumb, all these inputs, which is going to provide by the end users, are malicious or input is malicious. When you start from that principle, you can develop, you are not trusting anyone. It is like a zero trust model. Then the login page is suspicious. Anyone going to put the real authentication data or the fake data, you take it as suspicious, malicious input, then do the validation. So that is first principle or the fundamental principle of the threat modeling. Good job. We are moving to the next question. Chan. Question number 8. What does the term elevation of privilege refers in threat modeling? If you are conducting security testing or pen testing, this is not something tough, or even you use your common sense, you can see that the elevation. Thank you. Give me one more moment. I need to connect into the. All right. Most of you have picked the right answer. Escalating user privilege to gain unauthorized access is the elevation of the privilege, or you can say the escalation of the privilege. It is like initially someone get access to the general user, but after sometimes using a different methods and techniques, he can improve the level of accessibility or level of privilege into the next level, which is the escalation. Let's say you get a system user in your system, but then after sometimes you are escalating to the root user, and after that the kernel user or the kernel mode privilege. Then those are the things, the evaluation of privilege in the system level. Let's talk about the application layer. Same your banking application, you have a general user and you have a bank managers there, which means the bank managers has more privilege to do certain amount of other actions inside the application. And there's a potential the general user escalate his privilege to the bank manager role. So that is the elevation of privilege. That is another way you can understand which kind of inputs they can provide into elevate the privilege, and add some of the checkpoints into that areas with your test use cases, and make sure no one has chance or has less chance to elevate the privilege on the application. All right, we'll come to the 9th question. And who's the top right now? We have a close game between these contestants. This is the 9th one. Which of the following is an example of a technical threat in stride model? Earlier we talked about the stride model. Every character has a meaning. What do you think? What is the technical threat? There are some threats here. Nice job. Majority of you have picked the buffer overflow. That is correct. Insider threat is not a technical threat. It is more like a human or behavioral threat. The social engineering is same. It's like a human threat, and then the physical secret is also like a physical threat. So buffer overflow is the technical part here, technical threat here. Assume you are developing the application, but you are not correctly assigning the enough resource or the memory for the processing or for the storing data for the input wherever you have these logics, and that can create a buffer overflow. That's one angle. And also you are not giving enough memory allocations, or you don't have any garbage collectors if you are using a special coding language. Then that's another area which can create buffer overflows. So that is a technical thing. And all other things we mentioned here are non-technical threats. So threats has different other variations. It can be administrative, it can be a personal, it can be human-based threats, it can be physical threats, and it can be a technical threats. We'll move to the next question. Still others, they have chance. We have 2 more questions. This is the 10th one. What is the role of a mitigation in the context of threat modeling? Second to one, the mitigation. What is mitigation? Great. That's the correct answer. Reducing the likelihood or impact of the threat. Likelihood or impact, which is equal to the risk for your application. The reducing the risk is the mitigation. That is the first thing we use when we are evaluating the controls. We'll take it like this. Again, you have a banking application and you have the login page and you are creating some test cases for SQL injections, cross-site scripting, or CSRF, whatever things we can get it done through this login page. And then you develop some test cases there. So let's say someone wants to inject continuously the scripts into your application, then your test case should be how evaluate or the validate the input sanitizations of the code. Understanding with that, when you given some malformed inputs to the systems, then you can understand the behavior of your systems, then you can further proceed with the test cases as failed or success with validating such kind of characters. Then that is one of the mitigation you can set. If the test case fails, then you ask your developers to do another level of sanitizations for this kind of data. Let's say if you are sending a pure inputs, then application properly validate and you encode the inputs once, twice, or thrice, and you send it. An application does not validate the inputs in that way, and they are taking the inputs and they are creating some troubles to the end users or the application. So that is a failed test case, and you need to enhance the logic behind the validation and sanitizations, which is reducing the likelihood or impact of the threat, which the external attackers can do different type of things to that login page. Okay. And the mitigation part, let's get another concept. Earlier we discussed about the DDoS, and DDoS is one of the main threat for the applications like banking, which means you have, if it is a kind of a well-known and huge bank, then you have the other state-sponsored kind of attackers which always trying to hit your banks and make it unavailable. And some of the fraudsters trying to get access into the systems and make some gain from those things. So that is another thing. And the DDoS is one of the threat you identified. Then as a developer, as a tester, you are creating some models using the DDoS attacks. Testers creating test cases to continuously send in a number of requests to the application and see whether you can do service disruptions. And developers trying to validate those requests and not to take malformed or the excessive requests into your applications. Like this, let's say someone wants to access the banking applications and his approach into the login screen, which means you are sending a HTTP request, S request to that application 2 times per minute. So that is the maximum time someone can access the login page, and you decide that is the threshold. And the developers set rate-based controls there. If someone is coming more than 2 times to access the application within 1 minute, then you should not allow that request from your system, and you throw some Google reCAPTCHA or other captcha types into the front end, and which is not allowing the script to run in the application and create more pressure into the application. And developers create a test case to validate these rate limiting controls by creating a script which send in multiple requests within 1 minute to the application. And if the request response is successful, which is the test case failure, if it is a it is returning a rate limited status like 429 or 403 kind of status, which is a text pass, and you are setting up correct mitigation into that entry. All right, this is the mitigation in the threat modeling. Now it has ended the questions related to the threat modeling. and I can give you few more minutes to ask any question you have. And I know that this is not a session which I'm going to deeply dive into the threat modeling concept, and we'll get an idea that will not happen within 20-30 minutes. But I have given some basic understanding. These are the concept. If you want to further check, then you can check it further. Now we have a new feeder up the top. I would like to give another chance, a bonus question, the next one, and the last question, which is not related to the threat modeling, and we'll see if we can change this leadership board. Final question: which individual is not among the organizers of the Quality Week conference? This is like a bonus question for you want to change the question of the Good. So you don't know much about the organizers. Correct answer is the third one. Anuttara Vijayaratna is not part of the organizing board of this quality conference. Thank you, my good friends Tarinder and Shamal and all others, and this Tilhani, Saumika, Sachini followed up through last week and organizing such kind of event. This kind of a useful events to organize and boost the knowledge of the local community. And the third question, she's my wife. It's not part of the quality conference. Right, this is the podium. Third place goes to Windy. Good job, Windy. Second one, Ricky. Great. Okay, now we have a new winner. Misha. Good job. All right, that is the end of the questions. But any follow-up question if you have related to the threat modeling or the cybersecurity, software security testing, security operations, I can take any number of questions. I have around 10 minutes.
Thank you, Dylan, for that insightful session. So now we'll begin our Q&A session. So please type in your questions in the chat and Dylan will answer them. So Dylan, we have two questions.
Okay.
Could you please name some tools, especially open source tools, to do a basic security test of web applications?
Right. Could you please name some of the basic tools we can use the web application testing? There are multiple tools available. If you go into the open source projects like OAuth, you can find these tools. You actually don't need multiple tools or the commercial tools to do the proper web application security testing. Web application security testing has two types of things: the dynamic testing and the static testing. Static testing for the code review or the code scan, definitely you should have commercial tools because the open source tools are not that effective. But for the dynamic analysis, you can use the open source tools. Examples: WhatsApp, which I contributed earlier in those days, which is one of the proxy we used to have. So you can use that tool, or else you can use the Burp Suite, the well-known one, and the Home Edition, which has enough capabilities for us to do the dynamic web application security testing. And now they have introduced a free courses from Burp Suite. If you go into the academy, Burp Suite Academy, then you can enroll your, you can subscribe to them and you can follow up the courses. And they also provide you a certification free of charge. So if you can get the certification as a security tester from the Burp Suite, that will add some value to your profile. So those are the main two tools I can introduce at this moment, but there are some other tools. Let's say that SQL Map, SQL Ninja, WAPT, those are very unique tools for SQLi injection type of attacks and the testing purposes. And yeah, I think the burp and sap is more than enough. It's the next question.
Can we define a threat as a risk? Are they same?
Threat is part of the risk. A threat plus threat multiplied by the probability is the trust. How frequently something can happen is the risk, and who can do the job or what can happen is the threat. So it is a two different concepts combining together, but it is not a one thing. It is two things.
What are the good sources to start learning on application security?
Still, there's no any other doubts. The best place is the OWASP. You have the OWASP testing guide, you have the OWASP software secure development guide, and you have some other standard created by the OWASP, and you have the top 10 cases and to the cloud environment, to the mobile environment, and to the application environment. So that's the best place still you can start as a beginner. Then after that, there are some academies or available courses in some platforms like Udemy or some other LinkedIn courses. You can see the next level of courses, and they will give you again the application security certifications to your profiles. Um, yeah, that's the answer for that. If you have
Um,
any questions, yep, you can. I can take.
yeah, I think that's
That's
it
all.
for questions. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Dylan. And don't hesitate to connect with Dylan on LinkedIn and inquire about anything on your mind. So he'll be delighted to provide answers. And Dylan, you can also extend the conversation and answer the questions through the chat feature if there are any questions.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
yeah,
am. Yeah, I think some of you have already asked some questions in the LinkedIn. Probably next week I'll take a look at those questions. I think they are from part of this forum, and I can see the questions are related to the modeling and how we can utilize the modeling concept in the, especially at the QA environment. So I'll take next week to answer that question. If you have any other specific things, you can always connect me through the LinkedIn. Then we can further discuss about those things. And I'm always happy to share the things from my end. But this week will be busy for us, so I will not looking at that.
thank you so much once again, Dylan.
Any other
So
questions? No?
yeah, that's it, right? Yeah. And with that said, we have come to the end of the Quality Week series. So, on behalf of Colombo Quality Camp and the winner of the Kahoot game, here's Linisha Sirivardhana with a vote of thanks. Over to you, Linisha.
Hi, good evening to every one of you. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the entire team on behalf of the Colombo Quality Camp for their continued support, which made this event a huge success. First and foremost, I express my sincere thanks to our speakers, Christina Thalesingam, Chandimal Maduranga, Nadi Navaratna, Harsha Navaratna, Oshadi Trikavel, Hiran Karandiniya, Niluka Sripali, Gaushalya Ramachandran, Kishan Navaratna, Ians Papakadis, Alexander Ramonov, Lahiru Taraka, Spas Kesari, and Dylan Varnakula Surya. Your invaluable contributions were instrumental in ensuring the success of this event. So thank you very much for spending your valuable time to share your knowledge and expertise. A special thanks goes to our strategic partner 99X, our educational partner Sri Lanka Software Testing Board, and our ticketing partner MyTickets LK for your continuous support and collaboration throughout this event. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the 99X marketing team in Gammudali, Shehan Kure, and Piazza Dean for their tireless efforts in creating marketing materials and promoting the event, and also Supun Tiambara from 99X UX team for his exceptional work in designing the event flyers. Let us not forget our moderators for this event, Dini Amit and Anupama Disana. Your time and contribution has been invaluable in steering the discussion in a meaningful direction. And I also extend my gratitude to all the participants from various universities and IT companies who actively engage in this year's Quality Week. We hope that these sessions has added a significant value to your knowledge and experience. We will be sharing the event recordings with you within the next couple of days. Finally, a heartfelt appreciation to our outstanding CQC team, the backbone of this event. Your dedication and hard work were indispensable in bringing this event to life. As we draw curtains on Quality Week 2023, we eagerly anticipate the pleasure of welcoming each one of you again in the next year's Quality Week. As for the future plans, we will be organizing a series of workshops and monthly sessions. So we invite you all to stay connected with us on social media platforms to be updated on the upcoming events that will further enhance your knowledge and skills. So once again, thank you very much for your support, and we are looking forward for your persistent presence in our journey of continuous improvement. Together, let's embrace the future of quality and excellence. Thank you.
Before we wind up, please take some time to fill out the survey we have mailed over to you, registered email address for us to gain more insight into improving the Quality Week sessions. And with that said, thank you all for your presence and thank you for joining us and being an engaging audience. So let's meet again in future with much more exciting events like this. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.